I hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
Here we go, career starts up, we go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
We're back in action. The Goat Locker Racing Summer Series is in full swing, and our final race of Week 1 takes place right here, right now, on V-Speed. My name is Jacob Lenke. I'm joined here in the booth by Goat Locker's resident road wizard, Ken Huber, and your producer tonight is Timothy Jones.
Yeah, and this race is being sponsored by Invets, helping vets in Indiana. Also brought to you by Lincoln Tech. Put your potential to work. Also being brought to you by V-Speed, and there you can see those are our announcers there. And then we're also being brought to you by Save 22. If you're struggling, give us a call. Anyway, Jacob, here we go. We're just going through our ads. There we go, Lincoln Tech again, and looking forward to this race tonight. And we're going to show up the summer schedule here and show you what we got going on for an 8-race season during the summer. We're going to start this race here at the old Daytona, 2011 Daytona. We're going to move through various tracks throughout the season. We got one road course on the season. I think that's Portland, Oregon, which is going to be interesting. You know, Jacob, I love road courses. But there you go. We can see the schedules. We got California to end the season at Fontana, another bumpy track like here at Daytona tonight, Jacob. So what do you think?
Yes, sir. 2 miles at Fontana to end the season, but to begin the season, we got to start here. Back in 1953, a man named Bill France had an idea to build a track to get the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing off the sands of Daytona Beach, Florida, and into the spotlight. In 1959, it came to fruition with a 2.5-mile tri-oval called Daytona International Speedway, with today's layout taking place on asphalt from a 1973 repave. She's full of 35 years worth of bumps, bruises, and scars. These drivers are going to fight the wheel to keep these trucks in line, and more importantly, in the draft.
Absolutely. It's going to be a very great race tonight. Really looking forward to this one. We're looking at 40 laps for the race tonight. These guys will be racing fixed setups with 65% fuel, 2 green-white checkers, and 4 sets of tires to run this race, including the one that they're starting on.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having some clean, long runs. We're getting the rest of the way through qualifying at this moment. We're just hanging out, waiting for the drop of the green. Ken, how do you think the lines are going to form out once we start getting green here?
Well, I think we'll probably have 2 solid lines for sure. This is a really bumpy track, so I suspect, well, 40 laps is a pretty short race, but I imagine these guys might resist the urge to go 3 wide. We'll see. You know, we raced the 87s, you and I there, Jacob, the other night, and that was a lot of fun. Those cars were really difficult to handle 3 wide. I think these trucks are a little bit more stable, but there isn't quite the aero package that the modern cars have with these trucks, so I think these guys will be struggling a little bit.
Yes, sir. With the 87 race on this same layout, you spent most of your race in the front, and I spent most of my race in the air. We got 77 degrees of air temp with a 97-degree track temp. A little cooler than most races that we've run here at Daytona. I think it's going to factor into. It's going to try and keep the. It's going to be a bit of a chore to keep the trucks in line with the truck in front of them.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm watching qualifying right now as we got some of these guys trying to get their qualifying laps in. It looks like right now, as I get the grid order here, it looks like Daniel Parks is currently on the pole. We'll see if that holds. Watching a few other trucks go around here. So Jeremy Holt in second, but there's still about half the field yet to qualify.
Yep, and I'd imagine that about half the field is going to want to qualify for track position to get themselves ahead of the eventual wrecks that we're going to have, but another half of the field is wanting to hang back, ride in the back, and hope that they can just stay, quiet for a majority of the runs here.
Yeah, and that's actually hard to do. We talked about that pre-race, Jacob, about running in the back. How do you feel about running in the back, like hanging back there and trying to avoid the carnage that might happen up front tonight?
Well, it all falls into a matter of who wants to make what move when. And if you're back in the pack and you want to be up at the front, you want to figure out whether or not you want to make that move early, or if you want to just hang back, chance it, just chill, wait for that caution, let everything get re-racked and restacked, and maybe you can make it out either on pit strategy or just get up there via pace if you don't lose the draft with the group that you're running with.
Yeah, right now I'm still watching qualifying. We got Mark Whitley in the 74 truck. He currently just took the pole. We'll see if that holds. It looks like we have just about a handful of trucks yet to qualify. So Mark Whitley, hoping he holds onto the pole tonight. Just looking over at the broadcast, what a beautiful track tonight. I'm kind of looking forward to this. Chat's been really active. We got a lot of guys. Scarlett Daly, Ellington's in the chat. Jones is in the chat. Everybody, hey, hope you enjoy this broadcast tonight. Jacob and I and Tim are going to try to do our best to knock this out of the park for you guys.
Yeah, we got some fans of Craig Bontrager. We got some fans of Jake Ellingson running tonight. We got Tyler White and a couple of other drivers that are running in the race in chat. Let's hope they put the phones down when they're in the race itself.
Yeah, watching the broadcast while you're racing is never a good idea. I often wonder, everybody says, oh, there's that commentator curse. And, well, maybe that commentator's curse is because these guys are watching the broadcast while they're racing.
Yes, sir. Qualifying is just about to finish up, and I think we've got a very familiar name at the top of the timing sheets right now.
Absolutely.
Checker flag has fallen on qualifying, and we'll wait to see if once the final laps come in.
Yeah, I think that's it. So qualifying has ended, and we're waiting to grid these guys up and see who our pole award winner is. Why don't you take it away there, Jacob?
Yes, our Jam Printing and Promotions pole award winner is going to be the, no surprise, number 74, Mark Whitley, a force to be reckoned with in this past spring series after having joined in the middle of the season and went on a 6-win tear in both the Truck Series and the ARCA Series. To his outside is going to be the number 49 of Craig Bontrager. Logan Threlkeld in the 69 Silverado is lining up third with Skylar Daly to his outside in fourth. Row 3 is going to be the number 1 of Eldon Stewart with Mark Cofield in the 97 P6. 7th is going to be Jamie Libke in the number 16 Lambda Legal Toyota Tundra with Jacob Ellingson to their outside. And your top 10 is going to be rounded out by Jeremiah Holt in the 73 and Lucas Lyons in the 17 P10.
And in 11th, we got Christopher Morse Jr. starting in the 81. And in 12th, we got Casey Jones. And in the 72 truck, we got Joseph McWhorter. And in the 25, James Kaufman on his outside in 14th. And in 15th, we got Charles Albert in the 7 truck. Well, we got Daniel Parks starting in 16th on his outside. Tyler Justice will start the 33 truck in 17th, while on his outside will be Daniel Cunningham in the 91. And in 19th will be Sean Kaiser in the 88 with Benjamin Richards starting in 20th.
21st, one of the Bieber brothers, the 808 of Brett Bieber with Bobby Whitley, and then the number 60 to their outside. Michael Jones in the 02 with Tyler White, starting in 24th. Brandon Wallace in the terrible number 99, 25th, with Andy Kurtz, last summer's winner, in 26th. Samuel Egg in the 243, starting 27th, with Judson Curtis to their outside. And rounding out row 15, Kyle Plumstead in the 28, with Zachary Minnis in the 364 in P30.
Yeah, in 31st, we got Kevin Price in that 80 truck. And in 32nd, we got Conrad Whedon. In 33rd, we got Brock Price. And in 34th, we got Warren Clayton. On the inside, we got Jonathan Cofield in 35th and Corin Smith in 36th. And in 37th, we've got Barrett Morton in the 9 truck and Noah Hogard in 38th. And that rounds out your 38 truck field. So they're on the backstretch right now, Jacob. Really looking forward to this one, this bumpy track. And we talked about it. Who's going to hang in the back? 40 laps to go. We got a pit window of about 20 to 25 laps. So that means technically they only need one stop if we stay green. But what do you think of the odds of that?
Thinking that we're going to get a number of cautions before we even think about trying to crown a winner here. The average this week is going to be around 8 to 9 for the super speedway races that we've run. And honestly, I think that this race is going to get down to a late green-white checkered, if not finishing under caution.
Yeah, well, I always get my fingers crossed because I like green flag racing. It's kind of my favorite style of racing. If these guys can keep it clean, 39 trucks or 38 trucks, it's going to be a tall order tonight. But I think if anybody can do it, these guys racing these trucks on a Sunday night, it's kind of a big field too. We're getting ready to take the green flag. I'm going to let you take it here, Jacob.
Yes, sir. The pace truck is going to be coming off now. As we are exiting 4 into the tri-oval, we are rolling. Green flag at Daytona.
Yeah, and you can see Mark Whitley started in that pole position, trying to get that 69 truck of Logan Trelkeld. I'll get that name right eventually. Going to try to push down to the bottom, try to see if they can get that bottom lane working. This guy's keeping it 2 by 2 by 2 so far. Doing a good job just getting through the first 2 corners.
Yep, we got about a middle split in the field as we see the top line starting to lag back a little bit. Bontrager playing Pied Piper to Skylar Daly up top. The inside lane is broken out. The top 3 trucks are trying to get to the front so they can start controlling the top 2 lanes there.
Yeah, and my favorite is actually on that high side. Once you get the high side rolling, and you can see it's starting to come back as you got those 2 guys up top trying to push hard to get back up to the front there. You can see Skylar Daly pushing hard in that second on the outside road there, trying to push up there in that 22 truck.
And as we look at the trucks going through any one of these turns, including the tri-oval, you can see how much they're moving around with these bumps. Oh, we got a caution on the racetrack.
Yeah, it looks like we got some kind of caution here. I'm looking for it right now. Might be a debris caution. We're going back. We're looking for it right now. I'm wondering if NASCAR might have thrown an early caution here. Get these trucks resorted, that there was some shenanigans going on towards the back.
Get everything re-wrecked and restacked.
We're not seeing it right now. We're not seeing what brought out the caution. I'm not really sure. I think NASCAR has called a debris caution. So
it looks like
I know the trucks right now are trying to catch back up to the pace car, trying to get the field sorted out.
Yep, trying to get everything together. Our ticker here is showing that Conrad Whedon was off track for a moment.
Yeah, might have had just a self spin there, or somebody might have gotten into the back to him, but we don't have that information. But we'll keep track of this right now. I doubt anybody's going to go in. I guess if you're towards the back of the field, you might want to go into the pit lane. But I think these guys up front will probably stay out.
Yep, and we're wanting to just get everything settled, all the nerves from the initial start are gone, and the nerves are starting to build for this upcoming restart. I would agree with you. I don't think anybody's going to want to take any time down pit road to fill up on fuel or anything, because we're looking at just a little bit of fuel burn here just from the initial start onto these 3 laps.
Yeah, and like I said, this should only be a one-stop race. Now, granted, if these guys want to take tires, I don't think tires are going to be that big of a deal tonight. Maybe 2, if these guys want it. As we see, they're coming up towards pit lane right now. I don't see any takers just yet. We see Craig up there in the 49 truck. He's currently leading this race. Got around Mark Whitley for the lead. And no takers on pit lane so far. There, we got some towards the back headed into pit lane right now.
Yep, Craig Bontrager, a common name in almost any series you see here on Goat Locker. He runs Fridays. He tries to run as often as he can with this group of guys, and he's definitely made a name for himself within this group as a clean driver, as a good driver, and he is one of the most respectful guys you can run into on track.
Yeah, and this looks like it's going to be a quick caution because looks like the lights are on the pace truck. So while the lights are on the pace truck, Jacob, why don't we take it to a quick commercial break and we'll come back for the restart. We're back at Daytona with the trucks. Hope you enjoyed that commercial from Cruising Classics, which, by the way, you know, here at Goat Locker, we run, right now in the summer series, we run about 4 days a week, right, Jacob?
4. We broadcast 4
5
races a week. We run 6.
That's right.
The only
that's
day
right.
we're taking off this summer is Saturday, but Cruising Classics is the primary sponsor of the 87 series, the Classic series that we run live on V-Speed every Tuesday.
Yeah, and that's a blast series. I'm in that series, and so are you, Jacob. And I think at the beginning of the broadcast, you were talking about how you managed to get airborne on that race.
Yep, I had a lot of fun, and I wish I could have been running a little longer, honestly. Made some mistakes on my own end, and then ended up getting in with some mistakes on some others, but outside of that, we're just running to run.
Well, things happen. Anyway, the lights are out atop the pace truck. We are back 2 by 2 as these guys get ready to restart this race. We got Craig Bontrager out there in front in that 49 truck, and Mark Whitley to his outside in the 74. I'd assume that he was taking the outside, but I guess not. So anyway, your top 5: Skylar Daly in 3rd. Logan Threlkeld, I'll get that name right. I'm going to keep saying that until I get it right. And then Jacob Ellington rounds out your top 5.
Yep, Craig Bontrager able to get around Mark Whitley toward the end of that green run at the front there. Skylar Daly, lucky to have his drafting partner in front of him as well, with the way that everything shook out, because it was Whitley and Threlkeld on the inside, Bontrager and Daly on the outside to start the run, and Jake Ellingson has made up some spots to get up to the front here now.
Well, that first couple of laps, although we didn't see what caused the caution, it was fairly clean. Fairly pleased with that. Hopefully they can do it again, as I expect the pace truck to dip down here on the pit lane and turn these guys loose on this track again. So like I said, Craig Bontrager is going to take him to the green flag here in that 49 truck, that black and red truck. Waiting for that flag to come out. They're in the zone. Green. And there we are. We're green flag. Keep it clean, boys. These guys are bumping on that bottom lane. All 4 of those top 4 trucks bumping, trying to get a run on the outside of that set, because that 74 is on the outside. Got a decent run, but somebody's coming up to help him in the 69. That's Logan Threlkeld trying to get up there and push that outside and get it going earlier this time.
Yep. Oh, those bumps are working into a factor here again as Logan Threlkeld's trying to push the back of Mark Whitley to get some momentum to get him back up to the front. Craig Bontrager playing Pied Piper to Skylar Daly and Jacob Ellingson as per the previous restart as well. Trying to keep these two lanes in line with, everybody's moving around with those bumps now. Just try and keep it close to straight onto the decklet of the truck in front of you. Just try and keep it there as much as you can to keep that hole in the air from from closing so that you end up getting sucked back a little bit.
Yeah, I was watching Casey Jones. Speaking of, somebody's not on the apron there. That was a close call. Good save. I was back there looking at Casey Jones, and he was getting a little wild up there, getting high, and I thought he was going to get into somebody, but he was able to gather it back up as you see him move back up to the outside and then back down to the bottom. But yeah, a wild save by that orange truck. I want to say that was Eldon Stewart. I'm going to have to look that one up. Jacob Ellington. Oh, we got a big wreck.
Big wreck! Massive crash! Multiple trucks involved. Kevin Price is off track. Tyler Justice, Sean Kaiser, Kevin Price again, Brock Price. We're looking at Joseph McWhorter here.
Yeah, he just totally gets turned around there. And you were talking about that early tonight there, Jacob, and it has happened. I was hoping it wasn't, but there it is.
Yep, he gets turned. Tyler Justice stuck up to the wall there. I see Charles Abert in there, the number 88 machine. Oh, more people piling in on the inside, running through the grass. As we see the 43 of Brock Price bypassing all of that, taking the safe route to the inside and getting some more spots to boot.
Yeah, I'm looking all the way back here at the 57 truck. He's just now getting it going. He was struggling to get that truck back rolling again. So there, that 57 truck of Judson Curtis, that truck is tore up. And I think these guys got at least one quick repair. Do you know the quick repair count tonight?
One and done. We are one fast repair, and that is it. You only get one gimme, one mulligan, one freebie to last you the rest of this race. And we are 2 cautions in right now.
And you know there's going to be some guys using that one freebie now. So we'll just have to watch, see who comes into pit lane.
Gonna have to, or if you don't have a lot of damage, you can sit in and try and get as much of it fixed. Maybe go a lap down, chance getting that lucky dog on the next caution. But I'd say a majority of the field that was involved in that is going to have to take it if they can't make it all the way back around.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I see Benjamin Richards has led the majority of the trucks down pit lane, as we are now seeing pit stops from a handful of people here, and it looks like we'll have 30 laps to go. I don't think they're going to be able to make it. It looks like the 56 truck took fuel only. I didn't see any tires.
Yep, trying to get topped off so they can get off cycle with the lead pack that's stayed out right now, because we've run 10 laps. About 20 to 25 is going to be the fuel window. So if they're pitting under this caution, if we end up going for that green run, they want a chance and see if Mark Whitley and everybody else can pit to try and top off to get to the end.
Well, while we restack and re-rack, let's throw it to another commercial here. And we'll see you guys in a couple minutes.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. Invets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. Invets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about Invets, visit us at invets.org today.
We are back at Daytona in the Invets Truck Series. Mark Whitley is still your leader from Logan Threlkeld and the number 1 of Eldon Stewart. Had some fast repairs taken under that caution. Noah Hogard, Joseph McWhorter, Daniel Parks, Sean Kaiser, Judson Curtis, Kevin Price, Charles Abert, and Tyler Justice. Actually, I think Tyler Justice may have...
taken a caution night.
Yep, he towed to the pits and he is back out on track right now.
But you know, one of the things I do like about green flag racing, excuse me, when we watch green flag stops at this track, watching all the trucks fan out, we've got about 30 laps to go. I don't know. There isn't quite enough fuel to make it as they start lining up to go too wide as the lights are out atop the pace truck. But one of my favorite things to see, Jacob, is watching these trucks fan out, going on the pit lane on a green flag stop.
Yes, that is the strategy part of you that's talking. Trying to get that undercut or overcut just timed right to get past the rest of the field that's still running on track.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Mark
Whitley is your current leader. He's made it back. Logan Threlkeld is in second. Eldon Stewart is in third. Craig Bontrager is out there in fourth. Jamie Lipke will round out your top five as we're getting ready to enter turn 3 and do another green flag run. Hopefully we can do it a little bit longer this time, Jacob.
Yes, sir. One can only hope, and we are definitely geared towards trying to get the rest of this race in now. Field's starting to enter turn 3, and Mark Whitley's going to lead him back to the stripe.
And you know, 40 laps is not a long race. I know it's Daytona, and you know it's a 2.5 mile track, but 40 laps is pretty quick. So you know these guys are going to start getting desperate, especially after we had the last pit stop here. But you know, pretty much our top 20 trucks haven't done a pit stop yet. They're going to need to. It's going to be interesting to see how this strategy plays out.
And I think everybody's just banking on that track position once the front group does. As we are back into the front stretch, pace truck pulls off. We are in the start line, and we are going back green at Daytona.
Yeah, and we got that one truck. That one is of Eldon Stewart pushing the 74 of Mark Whitley, trying to get that bottom lane moving, but that 69 on the outside with the 49 of Craig Bontrager is pushing that outside lane, trying to make some type of move up top. So far, isn't working yet, but these trucks are lined up, so I expect that high line to come in.
Yep, and Mark Whitley switches it up, moves to the top lane to get the push from Logan Threlkeld. That leaves the inside open. We got more trucks crashing. But everybody keeps it straight, and we are back, like we are still green down the backstretch. That's bunched up a whole bunch of trucks in the mid-pack with the top 5 starting to break away.
Yeah, and I was trying to see who that black truck was that got pushed off down to the apron. That was the 73. Let's see who that is. The 73 of Jeremiah Holt. Yeah, Jeremiah Holt got pushed to the inside below the apron, saved that truck. It was able to keep it going, but we got these trucks spread out a little bit. They're going to gather it back up here, and I imagine we'll see some definite tight 2-wide racing again.
Eldon Stewart ended up dropping a bunch of spots there, just getting sucked back off of the exit of turn 2 onto the backstretch.
Yeah, Mark Whitley back in the lead, down on that bottom side. He's got Logan Threlkeld in that 69 truck pushing hard, or in that one truck, I should say. Eldon Stewart is pushing that bottom lane. Is pushing that bottom lane as hard as he can, but here comes that outside lane again.
I was looking at the wrong truck as we got to move for 3 wide. Jake Ellingson, barely into the back bumper of Craig Bontrager there. Everybody keeps it civil. Everybody keeps it straight. Bontrager's still to the back of Whitley on the top.
Yeah, we got some good racing. So far, they're keeping it clean. We've had some very close calls, but these guys are doing a great job right now. I'm looking back at this pack, trying to figure out who to follow, trying to figure out which lane is going to go. But right now, the high line is starting to pull in that 74 truck with Mark Whitley. Just dropped back just a tad as that inside lane is getting a big push. We'll see who comes out on top going into turn 3.
Yep, inside lane got the run out of 2, but it looks like the top lane's got the momentum into 3. Mark Whitley from Craig Bontrager and Jacob Ellingson with, to their inside, it's Logan Threlkeld, Eldon Stewart, and the number 16 of Jamie Lipke. Lipke knows a thing or two about being able to beat Mark Whitley at one of these the higher mileage tracks, being able to pull out the win in the spring series at Auto Club in what was, it ended up coming down to a fuel mileage race. So I would keep an eye on them as a contender for this win here.
Yeah, and I'm actually just looking back in the field here, looking at some of our guys that made pit stops and even quick repairs, like the 72 truck of Joseph McWhorter, who's back there currently running in about the 19th position in that 72 truck, that blue and white truck. And it looks like he's just trying to play it safe, trying to stay off the back a little bit, trying to look for if there's going to be an accident ahead of him, because he's looking at about 20 cars ahead of him. And that's kind of frightening if you haven't run a place like this before.
McWhorter, a teammate of Mark Whitley, trying to manage that gap because they know that their mulligan is one and done here. They're trying to keep behind the truck in front of them without losing the draft, and well, they got one of the best to be able to follow right here with Andy Kurtz sitting in the spot just in front of them.
So I'm looking back here at the 97 truck. We got a separate little pack there in that Mountain Dew. That's Mark Cofield. Running in a separate group. It looks like they're starting to run back down that top 20 or top 30 cars. I thought they were going to try to drop back and try to play it safe, but looks like they might have just got out of the draft and just running that draft back down.
Yep, Cofield with Cunningham and Tyler Justice behind. All three of them are trying to manage the gap to the back of the field just in case there is another wreck, because I know for at least two of them, that's going to be their race if they do get caught up in it.
Well, it's getting spicy up front. 74 truck is out there on the outside being pushed, being hurt. That 74 truck of Mark Whitley led a lot of this race. It's got Eldon Stewart down there on the bottom pushing, and these guys can't seem to break away from each other, and the outside seems to get a run right after the corner, and then they get on the straight stretch, and you can see that outside lane start to pour them up and get a better run.
Yep, it's all give and take right now, in and out. The 74 running that top lane, going to be out to the front once they exit turn 4 here, with Logan Threlkeld keeping the nose of the 69 machine to the inside at the front. It's just, we got one! Oh, they saved it! Kept it back on the apron.
That was a 25 truck right now. I'm trying to figure out who that driver was as I get to know these drivers, but I think that was a 25 truck.
Yep, 25 is going to be James Kaufman. It got shuffled out of line right there, and that's those bumps I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, and a good job of saving it. You know what? These guys are doing a great job, actually. For as big as this field is, they're doing an absolutely tremendous job getting through this track very cleanly for as bumpy as it is.
What I think it boils down to right now is practice. We have run at least 3 races this week at Daytona. Whether or not it's this layout, just keeping your truck in line with the truck in front of it and with the truck behind it is pivotal. It's key to trying to get your way up this track. Lucas Lyons turns Jake Ellingson. Everybody keeps it straight. We're lining it back up. Oh, how did they save it again? No. Oh, Casey Jones up the track. Lucas Lyons. Oh, secondary impact. That's Warren Clayton. Oh, another truck. Oh, Tyler Justice barely avoiding the 34.
Yeah, Lucas Lyons, I think, started that whole chain reaction there. We'll have to go back to the replay and take a look, see exactly what happened here.
It looked like he got shuffled out of line, and he ended up running, like, just barely shifting up the track to push into the 27. And it's just a ping pong checkup machine all the way into turn 1. And it's just unfortunate to see so many trucks torn up by that, but it doesn't look like a lot of trucks were hurt in that exchange. Just knocked out of line.
Looks like about 5 trucks. I watched Lucas go 3 wide, and I was getting ready to call it. I said, "Oh, Lucas is going to go 3 wide," and then right about that time, everybody seen exactly what happened there. But I don't know if Lucas Lyons had a quick repair in the bank still, but I think he might, because he's been running pretty close. I was actually admiring that Cessna truck to begin with, and that's what was the reason I had focused on it. But it looks like he's on the apron right now, and he went to the garage. Lucas Lyons to the garage.
Yep, Lucas Lyons did, in fact, have a fast repair for that. So does Casey Jones and Warren Clayton, who was also involved in that.
So I imagine we're going to see our leaders on pit lane now. So we got Mark Whitley up front in the 74, followed by Lucas Threlkeld, and then Craig Bontrager in 3rd, Eldon Stewart in 4th, and Christopher Morse Jr. in 5th. We're going to see if we got any takers for pit lane.
What I think we're going to see is everybody on pit road, because Mark Whitley and the front half of the field has not pitted yet, but there are people that have pitted that only need to take half as much gas as the rest of the field does. And so when everything shakes out, whether they take tires or not, I think we're going to see a different leader after this cycle as we see everybody coming in.
Yeah, we'll see who's going to take tires, who isn't. There might be a lot of guys taking 2 tires. That would be my move, is taking maybe some outside tires with 40 laps. Yeah, I can see the leader, Mark Whitley. He's taking 2 tires at least right now as the right side of that truck is up. It's down. Oh, and the 69 truck is going to beat, that's Logan Threlkeld, is going to beat everybody off pit lane.
It looked like Whitley ended up sitting just a little too long in the pits as he loses 3 spots on that cycle. Logan Threlkeld taking the point. Eldon Stewart, Jake Ellingson following suit.
Yep, so we're at the halfway point of this race now, Jacob. Everybody's got fuel in those trucks. They've taken the tires they need. If we don't have any further cautions, which that might be an impossibility, these guys should be able to make it to the end, because we're going to do 2 caution laps too, so that's going to add to the fuel mileage there.
If I'm them, I'm still clutching because I'd rather be better safe than sorry. Just saving as much fuel as possible here. I know some people cut the ignition to try and keep the fuel burn down a little bit. Stick that clutch in when you're in 4th gear. Just make it so that you're going as fast as you need to keep up with the pace truck here.
Yeah, so I'm a little confused in my time in scoring, because I thought Logan Threlkeld beat everybody off pit lane, but I'm showing Mark Whitley in the lead, so I must have missed that. My apologies to the broadcast, but sometimes you miss them. What are you going to do?
Yeah, we're all good. The number 69 is taking point right now. Everybody's shuffled up. Everybody's still taking it single file, getting ready to double up once we get to the stripe on this lap.
Well, this is going to be money time. Like I said, no more pit stops unless we get some more fender damage or something like that. Nobody should have to pit again. So I think this is where the pay window opens up, and these guys, if they haven't been aggressive already, they probably still will be getting more aggressive. The one thing I noticed, Jacob, with tonight's race, and I think it has to do with the bumpy track, is I'm just not seeing a lot of positions changes, right? So these guys are lined up single file on each inside lane and outside lane, but nobody can really seem to make a move. And we've seen Jacob Lemke, I think that was Lemke that started that accident. He was the only one that kind of took it 3 wide there, and maybe the root caused that. But
I am Jacob Lemke.
I'm sorry, my brain is on fire tonight. Anyway, well, you know, we race together as it is.
Yeah.
But my thought process is that these guys are going to have to liven it up a little bit.
Yep, I was told before the race by my father. I told him that this was going on. He did tell me not to wreck, and I told him that I was in the booth, and he's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking at the chat. The chat is saying 23 laps on a fuel load, so they might be a little short, so that's going to be interesting. They're running caution, and they'll have about well, I guess they'll have enough laps now, because they'll have 18 laps to go. So
yep, 19 at the stripe, but we also have to factor in those 2 green-white checkers. Do we want to go in for that just ever so slight splash of fuel that might get us to the end of the overtime?
And that we'll have to wait and see what these guys do. Of course, if we have more cautions, that's going to add more chances for these guys to save fuel and clutch it, and maybe have enough for that green-white checkered or a second one if needed.
Yep, Threlkeld, Ellingson, Bieber inside, Eldon Stewart, Whitley, Kurtz outside. Pace truck is getting ready to peel off into the pit lane as we are back on the front stretch getting towards the tri-oval.
And the pace truck ducks into pit lane as these guys are waiting for that green flag, and we are green, and they're away. And we got Logan Threlkeld in the 69 truck getting a nice little jump out front. I don't know if that's wise right now. He doesn't have a big push from that 27 of Jacob Ellingson, as he's now approaching the back bumper of him, trying to get up there and help push. Is that outside truck of Eldon Stewart in that number 1 on the outside, getting a run, getting some help back there.
Yeah, the outside lane got the momentum out of the exit of turn 2. Ellingson pushing Threlkeld as much as he can, but it looks like there's 2 trucks in front, jumping down to that bottom lane to catch some more momentum.
Yeah, there you go. Now you see the more risky moves there. Those guys want that bottom lane, which I'm kind of surprised by because you think the top lane wants to go, but now those top two guys are on the bottom, hoping that they can stay there as that 69 truck now is in that third position. That's Logan Threlkeld. Oh, and that 70. Oh, big wreck. Yeah, I seen a truck just totally backwards there.
We got another massive wreck. We got the 02 involved, the 17 of... Oh, Lucas Lyons again.
Well, if he used that quick repair, it might be over. Here, we're going back to the replay. See exactly what happened here.
It looks like Michael Jones is the truck we're going to be following right here. Is stuck in the middle. It looked like the 56 came down a little bit, clambered into the 97. The 17 gets caught up in it. 02. Oh, massive shots.
Yeah, those are big hits, and I imagine some of those guys have already taken a quick repair, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple guys headed towards the garage, although I don't see anybody in the garage right now.
Yep, Casey Jones involved. I believe he had already taken his fast repair from a previous wreck, and I don't know if that's going to end his night or not. But I did notice something else during that wreck. Brock Price and the 43 taking the evasive move again, all the way as far to the inside as he could, and avoided that entire wreck.
That's the one nice thing about having fresh tires. As I use fresh tires at these plate tracks for more accident avoidance than I do actual racing.
Yeah, because if you try to make a quick move on those the older tires that have collected some rubber, it's just kind of like driving on sandpaper.
Exactly. They don't move. The truck doesn't move as fast as it normally would on fresh tires. It's kind of nice having those fresh tires for accident avoidance. Hey, while we're under caution here, why don't we throw it to another commercial break, and we should be ready to go with about 15 or 14 to go when we come back.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
And we're back. Heldon Stewart is currently leading this thing in the one truck. We didn't really have any takers on pit lane, so what do you think? We got we're going to have about 15 to go. Jacob, how are you going to handle these last 15 laps?
We got people that are coming down the pits for minor damage repairs, but more importantly, I think we're talking, like we were talking about it earlier, we're getting that ever so slight splash of fuel to try and get all the way in case we do have an overtime finish, as we see Casey Jones missing a fender there in the inside. We saw him involved in that horrific wreck down the front stretch.
Yeah. Well, you called it. You know, I was hoping it would be a little bit cleaner, but it hasn't been that bad. These guys were doing really well tonight, so I don't want to throw them under the bus. So, you know, there's a lot of trucks out there tonight. We had over 30 trucks start this race, so to run this clean this far into the race is actually pretty decent. Anyway, in the chat, there's Racer X. He's saying, hang on there, 69, which is Logan Threlkeld, who's currently running in that fourth position. So Logan's got a fan out there in chat.
Yep, we still see some more fan support from the supporters of Craig Bontrager. We got some people in the chat looking for, hey, we got Travis Bieber in the chat, Brett Bieber's brother. Ray Ellingson continuing her support for Jake Ellingson, as always. We very much appreciate you, Ray. Brandon Wallace in the chat while still being in the truck. I said we shouldn't be doing that, but, you know.
And then, we got another one rooting for the number 2. That's Mikel Jones, is currently in 26. So Michael Jones has got a ways to get back up to the front there for that 02 truck. Also got a Go 49. So somebody's rooting for that 49 truck, and that's Craig Bontrager, so who's currently running in 13th.
Yep, a lot of fans for a lot of drivers here in this field. We are getting back doubled up. The pace truck, the lights are off on the pace truck, and we're back to re-rack them, as once we hit the stripe, we're going to have about 14 laps left in this race.
It's going to be exciting. Watching the track temperature is about 96 degrees. It's a bumpy track. These trucks don't get too slick, but if you bump them, they'll get really loose in the back. So I expect to see even more risk taking this last 14 laps. So I got my fingers crossed that these guys can do it, but I don't know. I understand the threat that they're against right now.
Again, everybody in this field has shown that it is capable of running in that line with the two lines going back and forth and fight with each other. It's not entirely on them whether or not they move out of line because of the bumps in the corners. And that's predominantly what we've seen here.
Well, that number 1 truck, Eldon Stewart, who's going to take the green flag here in another couple corners. He's got Mark Whitley in the 74 truck starting on his outside. Andy Kurtz starting in the 48 truck on the inside. Logan Thruckeld on the outside. Some of you had a fan out there in chat. And then Barrett Morton in the 9 truck, who I don't remember talking about. He started 36, Jacob. He started 36 tonight, and he's up in the 5th position. So he's done what it takes to get up front.
Yep, and that's what's called patience from that first little bit that we hit. Barrett Morton did not take a qualifying lap, and he was one of the few that has made his way up to the front just on patience and pit cycles alone. Pace truck pulling them into the front stretch, getting towards the tri-oval, about to pull into pit lane one more time.
All right, boys, let's keep it clean. Let's keep it green. Eldon Stewart taking it to the green flag here. He's got some help with the 48 truck. Andy Kurtz. Kurtz is pushing that 1 truck, trying to get him up front. Mark Whitley on his outside, and the 74 truck is the 69 of Logan Thruckeld. Starts helping him pushing that outside lane.
Yep, Andy Kurtz, no stranger to the front in one of these Truck Series races. Last summer season's Daytona winner, pushing Eldon Stewart out to the front. I wonder if he's going to jump on top like Whitley did previously. We got Barrett Morton pushing that inside lane as well, with Jake Ellingson still in there helping out the top lane.
All right, we've watched this race. We're over halfway. What's your pick tonight there, Jacob? Who do you think has the skills and the patience to get this done tonight?
No question. You could have asked me 100 times. My answer would still be number 48 of Andy Kurtz. What's your pick?
Well, I mentioned him earlier, that 99 truck. I kind of like the fact that he came all the way from the back. He's in that bright red truck. So he's got that big siren paint scheme, but Barrett Morton, I think, is going to be my pick for him.
Barrett Morton, Premier Truck Series winner at Martinsville. Last season, Ellingson goes around. Ellingson into Bieber, into the outside wall. Oh, massive wreck. 10+ cars involved here.
And these guys are getting, these guys are starting to get desperate. I felt this one was coming up. We were just looking at Barrett Morton, and that happened right behind him.
Oh, terrible moves. It's unfortunate that, we see the 99 gets bumped up into that middle lane, into the quarter panel of the 27. A lot more trucks involved here. Oh.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Oh, right at the end there, Jacob Ellington takes another hit for good measure there.
Oh. Unfortunate. We're getting another view of this wreck from the overhead of Kevin Price in the 80. As we see him wrapping the bottom with that bottom lane. Nobody knows what's coming up front until the smoke hits. Drops to the bottom, drops to the inside, and just gets clipped by the 97 of Mark Cofield. Nowhere he could go. Everybody's trying to take evasive maneuvers. I don't think he's any part of the blame for that one.
Yeah, I was just looking through the trucks there. There was a truck there that made it through all that. I want to say that was Benjamin Richards. Maybe we can go back and do a cockpit view of Benjamin Richards driving through all that cars. He was back there in about 20th when that wreck started. I don't know if we have that available. We'll take a look. Meanwhile, as these guys catch the back of the pace car, I'm keeping an eye on pit lane here. Here we go. Here's the replay. And as we watch, if we can hop in the cockpit there and see exactly what he was seeing from this wreck up there. I believe that he made it through here, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll find out.
Good on the gyro cam from Benjamin Richards on the number 56. Joined about 10 minutes before the race started.
Look at this. You're just driving on through. It's just another Sunday drive. It is Sunday after all.
Yep, it's a minefield. The number 20 of Conrad Whedon getting through there unscathed as well.
Yeah, that was an awesome drive by those guys. Looks like
Top
we didn't
marks.
really have any takers on any of the leaders take pit lane as expected, as we're going to have at least less than 10 to go when we take the green flag again.
Yep, when we shape out, we're going to have about 9 laps to go. Once we hit the green flag, we're still pacing, getting back around so we can double them up one more time.
Yeah, and you know, I'm kind of surprised we only have about 6 trucks out of the race. I think just looking through the field here, yeah, it looks like only 6, 7 trucks are out of the race. Looks like Brock Price is the first one, or Brock Price is just now entering, so it looks like Warren Clayton, Justin Curtis. Oh, I see, it's my timing and scoring. So a lot of guys, we don't have a lot of the trucks out of the race, which is actually very good.
Yep, everybody's been able to minimize the damage, get through some of these wrecks unscathed. If they got into one, they stopped in, fixed their damage, took a fast repair, and were just able to get back out, and they've been lucky to get back going from the get-go.
Yep, well, bumpy track here on a hot Daytona night, on a Sunday night. Enjoying watching this race with you guys. It's been an absolute blast calling this race with you, Jacob.
Yes,
10 laps to go. I see the chat there. We got Red Guy saying, dang it, Brandon. And then we got another one. It looks like Mr. Boom rooting for the 71 truck. Who is the 71 truck? I'm still learning all these trucks tonight. Oh, that's Daniel Parks. He's way back in 30th right now. So on pit lane, looks like he might either be getting some damage repaired or getting it towed back to the garage. So anyway, go ahead, Jacob.
The number 71, another recent addition to Goat Locker, and we appreciate everybody that's been able to come in here and race with us and be able to teach people it's like the basics of racing, because it's what we do for fun. It's how we choose to spend our time. It's a hobby for everybody here. We're just in here having fun and cutting it up and running Daytona.
And this is a summer fun series, and this is really what it's about. And these guys, avoid the tempers. The lights are out on the pace truck. You can see we did have the camera there on Daniel Parks as he did make it off pit lane. Still on the lead lap, so whoever was rooting for Daniel Parks, he still has a shot at this. Anything's possible here at Daytona. So our top 5 are going to be Eldon Stewart. Andy Kurtz is another name we haven't talked about too much tonight. Mark Whitley will start in 3rd. Barrett Morton in 4th. And Logan Thruckeld in 5th.
You got to factor in that P6 car. The number 99 of Brandon Wallace. The top 3 cars in that lane are going to... Like the front 3 cars in each lane are going to be the ones that are going to set the pace for everything going back. As we got Joseph McWhorter lined up behind that, the front 3 on the outside. Everybody else is trying to keep in line behind the front 3 because that's where most of your momentum is going to come from. Is getting those runs just pushed up and moving forward to try and get everything shuffled through in the front.
Absolutely, and we got 10 laps to go when they take the green flag. And the pressure is even getting more intense as this race is getting ready to close out here. Like I said, up front, Eldon Stewart will be taking him to the green flag with Andy Kurtz on his outside. Now, you called out that 99 truck again there, Jacob. That's my pick, so I'm still rooting for the man.
Yes, sir. Pace truck pulls it back onto the front stretch toward the tri-oval. Is going to start. He's dipping into the pits now. We are back in the restart zone, and we are back green one more time at Daytona. 9 laps to go.
Eldon Stewart in that number 1 truck pulling away from first. 74 truck of Mark Whitley trying to get to his back bumper there. Give him a push. 48 truck of Andy Kurtz on the outside trying to hold firm. Waiting for that 9 truck of Barrett Morton to catch up to him and give him a big shove going down the backstretch here.
Yeah, the one getting a push from the 74 of Mark Whitley. A majority of the trucks that we have in the top 5 have been there all race, except for Barrett Morton and Andy Kurtz, who have made their way up on merit. Logan Threlkeld sitting in the P3 spot on that inside lane. Andy Kurtz leading the outside lane. It looks like they're 4 strong at the moment with the 72, and they're getting some help on the way from the 364 further back.
Yeah, these trucks are now getting up to full song as they're getting ready to go through the tri-oval here and cross the start-finish line. 40 truck, the outside 48 truck making a move to the lead. Andy Kurtz move him to the lead from that 26 starting position. Now leads this race here in Daytona.
Barrett Morton barely just jumped out of line and entering to the or exiting the tri-oval into turn 1. They've all lined it back up right now, but the bumps are just tearing them back and forth. Everybody's trying to keep it in line. That's why we haven't been seeing a lot of passing, is because everybody's so focused on trying to keep it in line with the truck in front of them.
Absolutely, and these aren't, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, these aren't the most aerodynamic race cars on the track. There isn't a lot of downforce on these trucks, so these guys really have to struggle on this bumpy track as they're going through potholes and all kinds of stuff. As you see, they're entering now the front stretch again, getting ready to go through the trial oval. Andy Kurtz still holding on to that lead with that 99 truck. Barrett Morton gets a little loose back there. The 99 truck getting a little sketchy back there as well.
Yet the 9 keeps hopping out of line because they keep hitting the same hole entering turn 1. Kurtz trying to take a line midway through the front and midway through the top and bottom lane as we got Eldon Stewart back up to the front. We got another truck sideways, further back in the field.
Yeah, that was the 81 truck, Christopher Morris Jr.
Christopher Morris, the 22's involved. Corinne Smith dives to the inside. Oh.
Kyle Plumstead in the 28 was also involved in that. So we're back under caution, folks. We bring the replay back up. You can see it here. Got Christopher Morris Jr.
Watching, he dips to the inside, and I think, gets tapped on the side by the 22, and they just both take each other down to the inside. Oh, the 0-2, the 7 of Charles Abert getting nailed in that one as well, the 0-2. Oh, already taking their fast repair.
Yeah, they were having a decent race up until then. And with that fast repair out, let's hope they didn't have any engine damage. At least they can probably stay on the lead lap.
That might be all she wrote for Michael Jones as we take another look at Christopher Morse. It doesn't look like he's got a lot of damage. He didn't hit that inside wall all too hard with the front quarter there, but I think the one that got the worst off from it was the 22.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, here we go. This hopefully is going to be our last caution of the night. What do you think? We're going to have, let's see, we got 6 to go. We'll have probably 4 to go when they take the green. Do you think we can get a caution-free finish? I know what your answer is.
I'm going to be nice. I want, as much as anything, to get us through this race clean and green. By the time we exit this caution period, we're going to have around 4 laps left of running. And I think it's just going to be slicing and dicing, trying to weave their way, everybody trying to get back to the front if they can, no holds barred. I think it's going to be a crapshoot.
Absolutely. Well, while we're waiting to take the green flag, why don't we take our last quick commercial break of the evening, and we'll be back shortly. And we're back. The lights are out on the pace truck. We're lining up 2 by 2 with Andy Kurtz being your leader in that 48 truck. Eldon Stewart is going to start on the outside in that number 1 truck. Barrett Morton back there in 3rd, running strong all night. Going to be, well, actually, I shouldn't say that. He started 36, and he's kind of my pick. Well, that 9 truck, anyway. Anyway, Mark Whitley starting in that 74 truck in 4th, and Brandon Wallace will wrap up your top 5, and he's my pick, actually. Getting the 9 and the 99 mixed up.
Yeah, I keep noticing that. Or we're exited back onto the front stretch. No, we're not. Yes, we
We're
are.
on the front stretch.
I'm
We're on the front
getting my
stretch.
wires crossed. We're
We've all been
we're-
doing that tonight.
So once we hit the stripe, everybody's going back side by side. They were already they were single file, but they were keeping their intervals because iRacing gets mad if you try to go side by side before it tells you to.
Of course.
We're gonna get. It looks like 3 to go at the line, which is 1 lap too long for a natural green-white checkered. So we still have both green-white checkers in play.
And I have a
What do
feeling
you-
this. Well, you were just going to ask, and I was just going to give you the answer. You know, I'm going to go with your strategy. I think there's going to be another caution because that 3rd lap. Well, if they can make it to that white flag lap, then I guess it'll be official. But I don't know that they can after watching this. So you can see, I can see guys back there right now warming up the tires, so you know that there's going to be some aggressive takes on this restart.
It is going to be knockdown, drag out, winner take all. I don't care if you get mad at the move I'm making it anyway to try and get back up to the front here. The only people that I think are going to want to be cool and calm are the 3 that are in the front of that top lane and the 3 in front of that bottom lane. Kurtz, Morton, Wallace, Stewart, Whitley, Threlkeld. All 6 of those are going to want to try and set the pace to keep themselves in a position to go for this win.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see some really hard pushing when this green flag drops from those back 2 guys. We're looking at Baron Morton in the 9 truck and Mark Whitley. Those are going to be the pushers, and those guys are going to be the most. Those people are going to have a lot of pressure on them to get those front 2 moving to keep the whole pack from running them down.
All right, we are exiting turn 4 as we speak. The pace truck going to peel off into the pits real quick. And we are 1 lap away from 2 to go here. We're going to try and see this. Yeah, we're going to try and see this white flag back into the restart zone. Andy Kurtz gets him going, gets a great jump off the line as we are back green at Daytona one more time.
Yeah, and that 48 truck did get a good jump, but that also could make him a sitting duck, as that one has got a heck of a push from that 74 truck of Mark Whitley. So that's Eldon Stewart and Mark Whitley. You can see him coming right now as you can see that the 48 truck tried to move in front, trying to get some air. As you can see, those top 2 trucks getting a decent run, but now we got 4 trucks on the bottom lane all lined up.
72 pushing the back bumper of the 99 to be like, we need to go, move. We were losing momentum as Eldon Stewart gets his position in front of Andy Kurtz on the inside line.
Yeah, Eldon Stewart currently in the lead right now. See if he can hold up to it with the 74 on his outside. Mark Whitley, as that outside lane is getting a run again with the 69 truck. 69 truck of Logan Threlkeld, pushing as hard as he can to get that 74 truck to lead. Isn't going to do it this time. That 1 truck will lead this lap. With
2 to go. Eldon Stewart leading the bottom lane, Mark Whitley leading the top. Both of them got excellent elite grade pushers behind them. Both lines going to have the momentum. Top line is going to have dealer's choice when they exit out of turn 4.
Yeah, and that bottom line is still holding strong. That's Eldon Stewart still leading that thing. That 9 truck, oh, look at them. They're all sucked up. The 99, all of that bottom lane, 5 trucks, nose to tail. I feel like they're pushing the pushers right now.
Top lane gets a little squirrely. Whitley's got the run on top, but he's trying to side suck to the 48 to keep him back. Everybody's getting back lined up as we are going to see the white flag here at Daytona. 1 more lap to go. Eldon Stewart leading at the line.
Oh, big wreck, big
Oh!
wreck. I think we're going to stay green, or this is going to end it right now.
Oh my God! 56 on his lid. We are still green going into 1 and 2. Eldon Stewart leading. Top 2 car, or the top lane only having 2 trucks in it, with the bottom lane only having 5. Noah Hogard is in the mix for the win here. The top 6 have lined up next to each other. Hogard in the catbird seat in case these guys wreck.
Yeah, you can see that 1 truck getting pushed by the 74, trying to get that lead back as that 48 truck, pushing that 1 truck. As they're coming to the line, the 1 truck's got the lead. Can he hold on to it with the 74 truck on the outside? 74
We're
truck.
getting to the line.
Mark Whitley.
Whitley!
Wreck behind him. Whitley wins this thing.
Mark Whitley by a nose over Eldon Stewart and Logan Threlkeld pushing him across the line.
Oh, what a great finish there, Jacob. That was a blast. That was entirely worth it. I am really surprised that race didn't go under caution with that big wreck that happened with 1 lap to go.
I didn't know if we were going to get a caution there or not. I'm glad we didn't, and we did see Mark Whitley cross that finish line first.
Oh, that was an awesome race here. See, Mark Whitley's really going to enjoy this win tonight. He really earned it.
Yep, so that's relief, and that's a points lead.
So it looks like my pick of the night there, Brandon Wallace had some issues. He must have been involved with that wreck.
Yep, he got caught in that wreck when they were going through the tri-oval. My pick, Andy Kurtz, had a run. The line dissolved on him, and he ended up bringing it home fourth.
Yeah, we watched Mark Whitley. He's up to the start-finish line right now, getting ready to celebrate that victory. Doing those donuts. Big hats off to Mark Whitley.
Burn it down, Mark. You definitely earned this one.
Those tires. Let's see some fires. Well, that was an awesome race. I really enjoyed that finish, Jacob. What did you think of that?
Oh, man. I think that's exactly what we expected from this series because we have seen this week in and week out. It's always going to be a hot finish at Daytona, and this one did not disappoint.
No, certainly didn't. So we'll run through our finish in order here, see where we're at here, see how everyone did tonight. As Mark Whitley's, we're looking for we're going to interview the top 3 drivers tonight.
Yes, sir. Yep, we're gonna go to a commercial break, and then we'll be back with our winners interview, finishing interview with the top 3 and our closing statements.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. Invets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. Invets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about Invets, visit us at invets.org today.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
And we are back here with the Invets Sunday Truck Series, and I have the pleasure of interviewing a man that has taken up residence in the broadcast waiting room, Mark Whitley. Sir, how are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good now.
I can only imagine. Did you think you were going to have the truck to keep it up front all night and then just cap it off with a win at the end here?
Well, a little bit I ran in practice. I knew this track was bumpy as hell, and it was. I figured there was going to be a lot of caution just because of how it would just the bumps would just shoot you around even when you're by yourself. So I figured it'd be 10 times worse back there in traffic. So that was the goal, plan, whatever you want to call it, to just stay up front. But super speedway racing, you can never like guarantee that'll happen. So worked out pretty good in our favor. Took some right sides on that caution around halfway just to see what the tire wear would be like. So I figured all the moving and shuffling, it would have some decent tire wear, but it didn't really. So I put us back a couple spots. We were able to kind of stay up there, and thankfully that last caution that came out, I was really trying to push on the bottom. It's really difficult down there because the top lane can really side draft you, and I just felt like I couldn't go anywhere. So thankfully the caution came out. I wound up restarting on the outside lane. I'm like, all right, it's go time. And then I think I pushed the one clear, and he wanted to go down. I was happy with stay on the outside because I really thought the outside was the lane to be in at the end there. And thankfully, Logan gave me the best push I've had in a long time, and that last little shot there coming off of 4 gave me a little bit of a run, and I was able to clear him. And it was a very good ending to the night. I know some of my teammates didn't have a good ending, but for us, it was pretty good.
Yes, sir. We get to interview your drafting partner, Logan Threlkeld, here in a second. Well, you got the win. And you got the points lead. Do you think you're going to continue your winning ways throughout the season to get yourself a championship?
Well, that's the goal. I mean, it's always the goal coming into any season. Just championship's the ultimate goal. So we're gonna try to continue some tracks I really like to go to. It's gonna be some I think Old Phoenix. I've actually ran there relatively recently, so I think I might have an advantage on some guys that haven't run it in a while. We'll see. I mean, there's plenty of guys in here, and this is just a super speedway, so you can't really judge outright speed yet. And so I think it's just going to be put our nose down and head down, and just keep our eyes on the goal.
Yes, sir. And last but not least, who do you have to thank for getting you up here on the top step?
Oh yeah, big shout out Harpoon Designs, Brantley over there. He does all my awesome paint jobs. Check him out at harpoondesign.com. Our other sponsor on board, Jawa.gg. They're the #1 online marketplace for gamers to get used PC parts and new PCs. The graphics card apocalypse has been going on. They take care of you over there. They don't allow scalping. All their posts are manually vetted. So check them out at Jawa.gg. They're guys, some of the best user experiences I've ever had. And then shout out to my teammates, my dad, Bobby. I think he maybe got involved in a wreck on the last lap. And then Joseph, he got taken out too. Was running really strong, and unfortunately they didn't get a good finish. But shout out to you guys for putting on a great podcast. Should be fun to go back and watch. Hopefully a little bit less stressful than it was in the truck. And I guess final shout out to everybody here at the league, Goat Locker. I've only been around for a little while, but I feel like all these guys are awesome. All the league affiliates, Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Invets, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, all the partners here that make the league what it is.
Yes, sir, and that is what it's all about. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your win.
Thank you.
Well, that was our race winner, Mark Whitley. So we're going to bring in the second place finisher here of Eldon Stewart here. Let's see if we can bring him in. Eldon, you got me. You got Ken Huber and Jacob in the booth. You got us.
Yes, sir. I got a copy.
So you managed to pull off a podium finish in the #1 truck. You didn't get the win, but you got that second place. How does that feel tonight?
I feel super good. It's my first race in Goat Locker, so to be able to come out with the second place here feels pretty good. Super competitive field. I had Logan Threlkeld behind me most of the race, pushing me. We were in the same Discord chat, chatting it up, race strategy and stuff. But yeah, it feels really good to get to second place.
So I was going to ask you, what was it like racing this old track? I imagine you've probably done quite a bit of racing on the new Daytona, but bringing these trucks back to the old Daytona, what was that like tonight?
Blast in the past, really. I raced a league race here, I'd probably say about a year ago today on this same track, and that's probably the last time I touched this track. Just as bumpy as I remembered. But yeah, it feels good to be back. I like all super speedway racing, bumpy or not.
Well, you mentioned Logan pushing you hard tonight. How about Andy Kurtz towards the end of this race? I believe he was the last one trying to get you a push for that win. Did you think that outside lane was working really well tonight, or did the inside lane really take it?
It was hand in hand. It just, man, I was on both lines at one point. I had a super good run on the high side, so it just was all in the momentum. If you had the momentum and you were rolling. Didn't really matter where you were.
Well, welcome to Goat Locker Racing. We're glad to have you. You started in the 5th place and managed to stay up front all night. I think we covered you quite a bit in that number 1 black truck, so congrats. You got anybody you want to thank tonight?
Jam Printing and Promotions, the Invets Truck Series, Goat Locker Racing Media, and V-Speed, Alexander PCs, Powerhouse Motorsports, NJB Designs, and the beautiful men who created caffeine and nicotine for keeping me going.
All right. Well, congrats on that 2nd place finish there, Eldon.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Well, that was Eldon Stewart.
Yep, that was your P2 finisher, Eldon Stewart, as we are going to speak with the 3rd man on the podium in a position that I don't think he's too common with. Logan Threlkeld, this is Jacob Lenke up in the booth. You got a copy?
I've got a copy.
Yes, sir. Must feel a little weird being in this position in the booth, isn't it?
I feel like that may be a little bit of a dig here at the skill level from the commentators, but yeah, it's a little bit of a script flip. I'll take it with a grain of salt.
Yep, and we love having you in the booth for the rest of this, for the rest of the races that you do put on for us here at Goat Locker. That Waffle House truck was bad fast all night, keeping it up in the front, keeping it side to side with everybody that's up there. How difficult was it, but to maneuver this track up at the front of the lead, up in the front of the lead pack?
I tell you what, you get yourself surrounded by some of the best drivers that you're going to see in any leagues, and it just feels like a breeze. You know, Mark Whitley up here, he's just as solid as a rock. Eldon Stewart, we were in team comms there the whole time, so I felt comfortable getting hooked up with both of those drivers, and of course Barrett Morton, everybody else that was up here. It was easy whenever you're around the right people.
Yep, you got shouts out from the top 2 finishers for being the most solid pusher of the night. You have a lot of practice pushing at super speedways?
Super speedway is obviously my favorite type of racing. I'd rather get pushed to the wind than be the one pushing to the wind, but hey, a podium's a podium. We're just out here having fun, going fast, turning left and doing it for 40 laps and see what happens at the end.
Yes, sir. That's all we can ask for. And that 3rd place finish is putting you up in the points contention already. Who do you have to thank for getting that truck up on the podium tonight?
Of course, iRacing here. We want to give them a big shout out, not only for just having a great service, but also for putting on as much as they do for us with the sim rig giveaways that our veterans get. Above the yellow line, of course, Sim Motion, and of course, Invets, all of our other sponsors, Save 22, Lincoln Tech, all those guys. Thanks for everything that they do for this league. And of course, my parents, I know they were watching tonight, saw them in the chat a couple times, and you guys up here in the booth, love being able to go back and watch this stuff, love being a part of it. And last but not least, my amazing fiance for not ripping my head off whenever I pop up a random race on a Sunday afternoon when we may or may not have had some plans.
Well, you can go back and tell her you finished on the podium, so that should calm things down a little bit.
Hell yeah, brother.
It was all worth it.
Thank you very much for your time.
All right, that was our 3rd place finisher, and we're going to close it out. Next week, we are going to Phoenix, Arizona. Jacob, I really like that track. We're getting away from the super speedways where we can really get some real racing done, and the season officially starts now for me.
Yep, it's Old Phoenix too, so no dog leg. You have the same. We have a tri-oval setup, but it's back to where it used to be. Everybody's going to want to try and find their own line to run around there, and it is going to be an absolute slobber knocker.
Yeah, really looking forward to that one next week here on V-Speed, so that'll be a lot of fun. So I want to thank everybody tonight. We got some sponsors we got to get through, and we couldn't do it without our sponsors, right, Jacob?
Absolutely not. The first sponsor I'd like to mention is Invets, a Sunday Truck Series brought to you by Invets, building strong futures for Indiana veterans. By Lincoln Tech, put your potential to work. And by Save 22.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a great race. Enjoyed working with you tonight, Jacob. I think we're going to close this thing down on behalf of myself, Jacob Lemke, and Timothy Jones. I want everybody to enjoy the rest of their weekend and have a good one. We'll see you all next week.